I wanted to give everyone on my channel a quick update. So, one of the weirder things that I've recorded is the floating orb phenomenon that I think it was the day before yesterday that I had recorded. So, what that was it was a floating orb shaped object that was basically going around in circles. I saw it again, but this was the interesting part. I tried to record it, but it was like it was so faint that it wasn't showing up on the recording because I recorded it and I reviewed the recording because I always review the recordings before I post them, to make sure I got what I wanted to get, because there's no point in posting a video that doesn't show anything. So I tried to record it, and it wasn't showing up. Like, it was so faint, and what it was kind of doing, it was almost like it didn't want to be I don't know what the hell it was. Like, the Gang-Stalkers, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, I just don't know what the hell the Gang-Stalkers, I don't know what to say about these orb things. Like, okay, so look, there it is again. Like, did you look at that? Look at that. This orb is it's like the orb is all, every day I see it now. Like, I saw it yesterday, and like I said, I see it again. Like, I was doing this because I knew I was going to see it again. Like, the Gang-Stalkers are doing this something with some sort of orb thing, some light orb. Like, that's like their new instrument of attack or something. Like, this orb, like, every time I leave outside, there's an orb there, and it's just following me. Like, it's an orb. They have like this floating orb, and it always goes in a circle, and I have never seen anything like this before. So I'm posting videos, trying to get people to just to see what I'm seeing out here, and like, people don't really respond to them as much as I'd like them to. But I mean, I don't know. You guys gotta. I don't know. You guys gotta sort of just process this the same way I do. I think that's why I record videos. But so just take a look. I'm pretty sure it's picking up this time. Now, I saw this orb before I even came here. Like, the orb was all the way back to where the grocery store was at. Okay, so it was back there. And every time I see the orb, it's going around in circles. So, and yeah, it's like a hue. And one of the commenters, what is it, LSD or whatever, he said it's a hue. That's exactly what it is. I'm looking at it right now. It disappeared. It just disappeared. But you're exactly right. It's a hue. It's like I don't really know what to call it. But you notice it just disappeared. It just disappeared. And that's what'll happen. It'll appear, and then it'll just circle, and then it'll disappear. So, really weird stuff happening in this area. The gang-stalking, when it comes to just the people, the gang-stalkers themselves, like, they're not the weirdest thing that I deal with out here. I deal with a lot of weird stuff, but mostly it's them. But in a way, I feel as though they're behind everything that I deal with, to be honest. Like, I mean, you might ask yourself, how did he do it? But they do it. Like, I don't know how they do it. I mean, they could do it. I'm pretty sure they have the ability to. I mean, the point being is this: I just live here, okay? I just live here. I mean, what else is there to say? I just live here. I just deal with stuff. So I got that again. I got the orb again. So the orb is everywhere that I go. When I leave at night, there's these floating orbs, and they're just everywhere. And that's something that I'm gonna. It's not bothering me. It doesn't bother me. But that's something that I'm probably gonna be seeing a lot of. So, floating orbs, and you want to know, like, floating orbs, it could be a sign of. Well, I don't want to see. The thing about that is, like, I could come up with theories about the orbs, but in the end, it's always going to come back to the Gang-Stalkers. Like, because people like myself and other people who have been the victim of these Gang-Stalkers know that every weird thing that happens in our lives, it's part of like a grand scheme of some sort. Like the gang stalkers, generally speaking, are behind every single bad thing that ever happens to us, pretty much. So, like when we see something weird, our first thoughts are going to be the gang stalkers. I mean, of course, I'm a spiritual person and all, but I mean, I'm going to naturally believe that they're behind what happens. I mean, I am. So, like, I mean, here's the thing, though. I mean, technically, it could be something outside of the gang stalking, but how likely is that, considering all the videos that I've recorded and them really just being behind everything that happens to me, really. So the floating orbs, don't ask me how they're doing it, but I kind of feel like they're doing it. Now I don't know how they're doing it, because I don't know. But to think about it, what I can tell you guys is whatever they're using, they are investing a lot of, like the way they did it. Okay, in Kroger, there was no projector that I could see. When I saw it in Kroger, I was right under it and I could not see how they were projecting it. Now, I'm not saying they weren't projecting it. They could have done it, like if they projected it, they had to rigged a light fixture or something, rigged some sort of something and just did it. But the fact is that it would have taken an extreme amount of trouble. Like someone would have to actually go into a fixture and put a projector inside of it and just let it, I just am like, wow, like just the level of sophistication. Like they would have to go through a shit ton of trouble in order to do that. I've seen things that has happened out here that really makes me feel like the gang stalking must be a huge operation, because of the trouble that the people would go through in order to sort of mesmerize me or something. So the hue appears and briefly, and it circles, and then it disappears. And I've been dealing with it for about 2 days now. And it seems to just appear. And it seems there's definitely intelligence behind it, because every time it appears, it circles for a while to show me that it's not natural, and then it'll vanish. Just as quickly as it appeared, it'll disappear. And I've shown that in my other videos. So I have some sort of hue that I don't know if they're projecting it. I just don't know where it's coming from, but it's appearing, circling, and then it disappears. And I am able to record it. I don't know if that matters or not, but I am able to record it. And all I can tell people is that this is my life. I'm really trying to get past just the weirdness of it and accept it. But believe me when I tell you, at times that's a huge challenge. Life really is a challenge. It really is a challenge, because I have to accept a lot of things that I might not really want to accept. Just living around people and putting up with the stuff that happens to me, and it's just accepting it, and giving up on a lot of the dreams that I had when I was younger, and that kind of stuff. And then having the trolls, these evildoers, mock me or whatever, which that part doesn't bother me. But these people are just, whenever you deal with, whenever you're going through a lot of stuff, and then some hateful, spiteful piece of shit tries to kick you or something, that generally speaking, you tend to take that personally. But in the end, you got to realize that that's just how life is. Life can be nasty, it can be cruel, it can be hateful. You have to just accept that. People generally speaking, people kick you when you're down, not when you're up. So I'm not really down, but I'm certainly not up. But for the person looking in from the outside, he probably feels like I'm down, because I have to put up with a lot of bullshit. I'm not seeing any more orbs. I'll make another video if it appears again, so stay tuned.